If you've been following this channel, you probably saw that I totaled my Model Y about a month ago. And it's been sad, but I've been grateful because my brother lent me this beautiful, gorgeous, red, velvety LaFerrari. Alright, so it's not a Ferrari, it's actually a Hyundai Elantra. But I'm super grateful that I have a car that I can get around. But there are so many reasons why I would never go back to an ICE vehicle. Here are 6 things I miss most about my Tesla. So in my Tesla, I never use the keys because, what's my keys? It's gonna be my phone. And I literally have like all my smart locks are on my phone and all I carry is a wallet and a phone. So of course, you can use the fob or the key card that comes with your Model 3 or Y. However, I end up actually never using this and I just kind of keep it for either valet or just emergencies. So in the Elantra that I've been driving for the past month, it's been hard and I've been late in a lot of cases because I don't even know where my keys are. Like right now, do you know where my keys are? You know where my keys are? No, I don't even know where my keys are. Oh, there you go. See? So in the 4 years of my Tesla ownership, in my Model 3, I put about 80,000 miles. And since then, I barely had to do any maintenance. I had to change my air filters, change my tires a couple of times from doing too many 0 to 60s, and windshield wiper fluid, and that's just about it. And what's really cool is that the app will actually tell you what you need to do. So you go to, for example, service. Right now I have to check vehicle status for rear harness recall. So if there's a recall, it'll also show up here. You can schedule it. And it's just really easy to figure out what's going on. On the other hand, the Elantra, it's actually a 2017 Hyundai Elantra, and it's fairly a new car, 5 years old. However, the other day, a check engine came up. For this, I had to put an OBD meter. And once you plug it in, it'll tell you what the error code is. And you do use an app. So this is a Bluetooth one that I used, and it'll tell me. And, when I did that, it told me that I have a misfire in the cylinder, right? And what that means is I have to change out a spark plug. But this made me miss my car a lot because it tends to be a lot simpler to understand what's going on. So let's talk about probably one of my most favorite feature in my Tesla. And I say this because I live in the South, and the South can be absolutely brutal. It is so hot sometimes and just humid, especially in Tennessee. So the ability to actually precondition your car and bring it down to a nice temperature so when you get in, you're not burning is a massive feature. You just go into the app and you go to climate and you could turn it on 5 minutes before you go out. And right now, for example, it's around 98 degrees. I can bring that down to around 70. When you are in the winter areas, you could actually defrost your car right before you enter. I want to remind you, please subscribe to our channel. We're coming out with content every single week for you, tailored so that you can learn how to customize, protect, and maintain. So click on that subscribe button below. One of the first things that you'll notice when going from a Tesla to another vehicle is you'll probably go in and go, wow, what do all these buttons do? You're gonna be kind of overwhelmed because now with the newer S, X, and 3, and Y, with the newer S, 3, X, and Y, it's so simple. You literally have a screen there and that's pretty much it, right? And it does everything from air conditioning to opening your glove box. It's so easy, and I find myself using, for example, like the voice control a little bit more, or like it already has saved my home, and it actually just navigates to my home as soon as I get in my car because it understands right around 6 p.m. I'm heading home, and then in the morning it routes me to work. So like all these small features that I'm used to, you only realize once you get out of it for a little bit and drive another car. There is one thing that I was super impressed about in the Hyundai Elantra was that Apple Play. And most cars nowadays have Android Auto or Apple Play, CarPlay, and it's phenomenal. It works really well. And all it is you just plug in your iPhone or your Android directly in, and then it'll pull your apps from your phone and then use the data from that as well, and then have an interface that is so much better than usually the OEM automakers. So kudos to implementing the CarPlay. I know Apple has a lot of plans to really increase the functionality of that and eventually actually have like some sort of CarPlay OS built in. I don't know if Tesla's ever going to do that. Their system works, the UI is great, and they're constantly improving, but we'll see how it plays out in the future. You know what I don't miss about driving an ICE vehicle? gas. I mean, every single time it gets like $40 to $60. So I found myself, fueling about once a week, and that's about 10 to 15 minutes of my time. So comparatively, when I had a Tesla, is that it's almost like ingrained into your lifestyle, right? So now I come to work, I have a charger at work, I just plug it in. It takes me like 2 seconds, and then by the end of the day, it's fully charged, right? And then when I go home, if I'm not charging at work, I roll in, I grab the charger, plug it in, and it's charging as well. And I found that I really, really miss that, I guess, integrated lifestyle of like not really spending any time in the gas station. You're probably asking, okay, how about when you're traveling? I really haven't found any issues when traveling. The supercharged network is better. One thing I'd say is it's gotten a little bit more pricier than it used to be, but it's also very easy. We typically plan around, we use a better route planner. We plan around what time we're gonna arrive, and then try to plan around lunch or eating times with the kid and stuff like that. If you do that kind of math and you drive an electric vehicle and you just charge at home or in a public space that's free, I mean, you're spending thousands of dollars. So let's talk about Autopilot. And before I do, I kind of need to explain what parts of Autopilot there are. Right now, there is basic Autopilot, and most of the time, it will come with a car. It is like massive cruise control on steroids, right? So what it does is it actually keeps you in lane and also does the distance between the car. So it uses the camera, it uses the sensors to be able to do that. And then there's enhanced Autopilot, that's new. It'll take exits for you and also do lane changes. And then lastly, there's FSD. If you pay for the FSD, you might be a part of the FSD beta program. And if you are part of the FSD beta program, you actually have access to the latest build that they are working on, the Autopilot team is working on. I had the opportunity to try this out. It's amazing, is it will actually take left turns, right turns, roundabouts, and they're trying to get to a higher level of autonomous driving, and they're breaking the barriers around that. I've taken some routes where I'm like, oh my God, I barely had any intervention at all. Just keep in mind to be very, very careful. Elon makes it very clear that it is still in beta mode. There's still a lot of work to do, but man, it has been so impressive from what I've seen. On an Elantra, in most cars, they'll most likely have a cruise control. It just kind of keeps your speed limit, and that's about it. It doesn't use any sensors. And what I've realized is that the cruise control is helpful, but you're doing all this micro decisions as you're driving. So as you're doing cruise control, you have to press brake and you have to change lane and go over and then turn on cruise control again. And then just think about how many thousands of decisions you're making. I think that's kind of why a big reason of when you drive and you travel to long distances, you get very tired. Whereas in the Autopilot, I mean, it works phenomenal in highway settings, and you're just more relaxed because you didn't have to do all this decision making while you were driving. Hopefully this was helpful, coming from a person that have owned a Tesla for 4 years, going back to an ICE vehicle. I'm hoping this shares some insight and real honest feedback. And I'm not crapping on the Elantra. It's been a great car. I'm so happy and thankful that my brother was able to lend it to me for the month while I'm waiting for my Tesla. On top of that, it's a little complicated, but now I'm debating, should I get an X or should I get an Y? Let us know in the comments below what you think we should get. And right now we're kind of leaning on the X, or maybe we should get both. Not sure, but help us out by subscribing and let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. We'll see you next time.